Okay, guys, welcome back to Winter TV. We're gonna be following up on some things that we just finished up. We pretty much finished up the last two of general information gathering on space related companies. Am I gonna use that information right now? Possibly not. Am I ever going to use that information? We have no idea. But the general idea is to just throw all that information into a portfolio and just pretty much notebook it. So what we want to do right now is take a look at our portfolio, see what we're doing, where we're at, and what we need to update. If you guys don't know, I am pretty much going for the $50, $100 dividend challenge, which basically every quarter I want to get somewhere between $50 to $100. So for a total of a year in dividend payouts, I want to see about $400. I have no prior stock exchange experience. I'm not an advisor. I'm not a certified broker. Don't know all the technical terms. So I'm just out here, regular average Joe, your guy who works at the warehouse, and I just throw in some money to the stocks, and pretty much I'm going on the dividend route. So right now we're looking at our portfolio calendar. We're on week 36 of this of 2016, starting 9/4/2016. That's Sunday, the 4th of September. We actually just finished this. As of today, we're on the 11th. It's the anniversary of September 11th, 2001. Remember the World Trade Center, and we'll leave it at that. So right now we're looking at for some things I heard. I didn't really pay much attention to any of the news segments for the exchange on this week on week 36. Some things I heard were the Iraq crude oil production, OPEC, Russia, China. So OPEC, I'm not too knowledgeable in this area. OPEC is pretty much like a Saudi Arabia mafia style. I've heard it been called the mafia style. Um, Pretty much main global oil pools. Russia, huge power in this production of crude and gas. China, upcoming union, upcoming economy. It's been seeing a little bit of a slowdown, or pretty much, I guess you can call it a market correctness, but there's still plenty of growth coming from China. It's not a particular segment I stay connected to just because of the language barrier. But these three right here, that's a different, that's a definitely economic bloc, I guess you would call it. The Middle Eastern, Russia, China, that's a huge economic bloc, especially since they both are, well, all three of them deal in the energy segment. Moving on, heard something about oil and some acronym, I guess you would call it. Um, and it's IEA, and that's International Energy Agency. Um, was founded in the 73, 74 during the oil crisis in order to help ensure energy security for member nations. Um, well, there you go. You guys can pretty much read up on that. It's the IEA, so in the International Energy Agency. And also during week 36, North Korea tested nuclear had a nuclear test, and a 5.2 magnitude earthquake pretty much popped up into the Korean peninsula. Um, there's talk about U.S. recognizing North Korea as a nuclear state, and it just throws a lot of stuff into where exactly is North Korea headed. Um, as far as land, it's as far as land resources, it's not in a competition with, let's say, economic countries such as the United States, um, China, or Russia. It's just not. Um, it's a small chunk of land. Um, I say a little bit bigger than Cuba, but it's technic it's technological advance, I guess, for nuclear armament or nuclear technology is pretty ahead for what it is possibly capable of other countries of that size. Now, this on top of this, something I saw in that general area. Let me see. I had wrote it out here somewhere. Usually I sticky note on the desktop, but for some reason I all of a sudden started writing on notepads. It'd be amazing if just one day, like, you're just connected, like wherever you go, all your information is at your fingertip, and you just somehow found out how to connect all different technology and all different business types into one form where you just have all access. So some things I'm looking at was watching CNN International, and they had the weather segment, and they showed the Celsius for the Arabian Peninsula, and it was bright red, 34 Celsius, with minimal orange levels, great for solar power development and infrastructure, roads, energy, park, energy, solar panel, solar energy, solar energy, road infrastructure, and sale to neighboring countries. Um, Also, CNN International Weather segment. Um, Taiwan, huge market, huge typhoon. Weather segment. Taiwan, huge typhoon, huge typhoon. Also, Taiwan is a typhoon prone area, great for wind, strong, durable wind, rods. Think space. Anything else? Oh yeah, in this area, we had it was Hong Kong, Philippines, Taiwan, Shanghai, and South Korea. Huh. Let me take a look at that map. Um, Pretty much Google Map Taiwan. Taiwan is a small island nation east of China with modern cities, traditional Chinese temples, hot spring resorts, and dramatic mountain terrain. Taipei, the country capital in the north, is known for its busy night markets, Chinese imperial art at the National Palace Museum in Taipei 101, a 509-meter tall bamboo-shaped skyscraper with the observation deck. Bamboo-shaped skyscraper. Huh, how about that? So, just so you guys can see, like, pretty much it was a map, I guess, on the Weather Channel. Um, Huge typhoon storm coming in from Northern Mariana Islands, and it was coming in on the northeast of the Philippines, coming in towards Taiwan, and it looks like it was gonna go right through Taiwan and into the East China Sea, which is where Shanghai and South Korea are. I know last year you guys remember we had some talk about the South China Sea and how China was getting control of some of those Spratly Islands. Um, so that's that. And we move on. So what we want to do, we already put in some notes for what we're expecting this week, some further segments, um, what to look into, what to watch out for, what to know for future investments, and so on and so forth. So right now we're going to go to our portfolio, or we're going to go to our portfolio, and we're going to take a look at this right here. Pretty much personal active investment portfolio. This is by Robinhood Mobile Trading. These are the dates I purchased some of these stocks, the exchange in which the stocks are. Since it's Robinhood, I'm only able to trade with American exchanges such as the NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange, and I believe that's it. They don't allow OTCs, as far as I know, but that's something I will repeatedly update as I move on. I'm also keeping track of the market caps. What companies am I purchasing, and what market caps are they in? And we'll see as our portfolio expands, how many of each we have, and how are those gaps doing as a return value company, and even as how are they distributing dividends, which is $50, $100 quarterly dividend payout. Want to know the sector and the number of shares I'm purchasing for that week. I will also come down to a total of how many shares I have overall within how many companies I have. And the companies I have, the ticker, the market price I bought these companies at. And if you do the math between how many shares and the market price, you'll get the equity I invested in that share, and some thinking behind all that stuff. Um, for for those of you guys that are starting out, pretty much Excel, the program Excel is going to be your friend. Um, you pretty much just need to draw it, put need to read, and whatever information you find or you feel that you need to do, set up a workbook, and Excel will take care of it. Also, great way to, excuse me, expand your knowledge in Excel. Great for those high level position jobs. So we got the total equity invested, and we'll go back to the thinking. So that was my thinking for those. I haven't performed an action since these companies are going to be long term. So what I want to do next is, let me add a couple. inserts here since I bought a couple more shares over the following time. Over my last time, since last time was on the 30th of August. And let's go over here. I don't remember what I wrote for the other companies, but I'll sure as heck will write a new thinking for why purchase more of that company. Um, so here we go. I'm looking at my phone right now since Robinhood is not a desktop application platform. Desktop application platform. DPP, DAP, DAP, desktop application platform. Since Robinhood is not a DAP. Okay, so we'll go with that. So, new words, guys. DAP, desktop application platform. So, I'm logging in right now, checking my portfolio. You guys already know what my goal is, strategy, challenge is, and it's not looking so good. I don't have the after hours market information, but my portfolio is pretty much dud. Um, I had most of my profits from AMD. I have bought them at 586. Right now, they're at 588. Um, it's Robinhood. I'm not gonna day trade 2 or 3 shares for 20 cents. Um, yeah, it's great, but I don't know. I'm not good with taxes, and I don't do my own taxes, at least not yet. And when I go to my tax company, whatever it may be, I guess one of those local ones, local accounting company or Hewitt Packard. Is it Hewitt Packard or the H&R Block or one of those mainstream tax firms or Liberty Tax. I don't want my fees to go way high into something that I'm not too sure. So all these stocks. So from what my understanding is, as long as you don't sell, you don't have to claim anything. But when tax season comes in, I will sure give you guys an update on how my purchases up to up to the beginning of tax season or up to year's end, how they affected my normal average tax preparations. We'll go with that. So my portfolio, I pretty much lost all my gains on AMD. AMD bought that stock before. Just a lot of hype around it. Saw huge price movements. I'm talking about pretty much quintuple, sextuple, centuple, depending on where you started from. And I got in pretty late. I saw it in the, I guess, 3 or 4 area, but I was just not ready to learn about the market at that time, so I kept holding off. Finally, I bought 3 shares and invested about. We'll just round up to the nearest whole dollar, um, just to be easy platform. 17. Well, we rounded up to about $18. About $18 worth of AMD. For a while, I was holding on to about $6 worth of, $3 to $6 worth of profit. Bought Bank of America. It's a bank. It's financial. It's a large gap. I've known about it for a really long time. It's the New York Stock Exchange. It's one of America's banks. It's pretty much one of the foundations of America. If you would have to say, it is a huge financial institution. Why it's at 15.99 when I bought it, I have no idea. Maybe it's just doing rocky in the books, or maybe management, or maybe just the economy. Not really sure, but it really doesn't match up with the Goldman Sachs. It doesn't match up with Wells Fargo. Goldman Sachs. I compare that company to gold. Wells Fargo, from what I read before, was a huge gold company that launched off in the gold rush in the California, well, in the West Coast California area, Washington area. Um, Pengrowth Energy Corp. Shout out to Discord stocks, if I can get them on screen. Well, there they are. Ooh, stocks. Anyways, some guy had mentioned a couple companies. Picked one of these up. Didn't look at it for a really long time. Was looking at companies. Um, Seen it before. They got a dividend, as far as I know, and price was pretty good. Um, it's oil company. Read some of their financial stuff. Actually, I'll pull that up right now. Um, they trade in the Toronto Stock Exchange. They trade in the New York Stock Exchange. Their daily production is there you go, 57,000 BOE, barrels of oil equivalent, for the quarter two production. The Lindenberg thermal production, which is the new project. Well, it's a project that they're working on. Um, Barrels per days. It produces about 15,000 barrels per days. Um, they just had an approval on an expansion for the Lindenberg thermal production, Lindenberg thermal, which will give a cap the phase two production, um, is 30,000 barrels per day. Funds flow from operation, which is there's some information on that. They got some stuff. They said they saved some money through some of their hedging, which is commodity risk management program. Their foreign exchange hedges. There's a lot of technical terms, well, technical stuff that I'm not too familiar with at the moment. Um, Cost management, favorable foreign exchange movement in respected to U.S. dollar denominated term. I guess this relates back to the Brexit. When Britain came, the global currency market was sort of transitioning into okay, so the euro is not as strong as it is because pretty much Britain has just decided to leave the union. Um, yeah, it sucks, but we're gonna have to calculate the books because our economy is not as a one entity. I'll leave it at that, just because it's a very complex thing, and I'm not in the in the European area where I know much about that other than what I've read. So down the line, this is still Pengrowth Energy Inc. Some of the stuff from the, I believe this was from the CEO. He wrote down, this was kind of a summary. Um, 82% of oil production at $83 and 44 Canadian dollars per barrel. 96% of natural gas production at $3.26 Canadian dollars per meter cubic feet. I'm pretty sure that's the measurement for MCF. The EPEA approval for the 17,500 barrel, barrel per day second commercial phase of Lindenberg. Um, with this approval, Pengrowth has the necessary regulatory production to produce up to 30,000 barrels per day at Lindenberg. So before, Lindenberg was doing about 15.5, and this phase 2 production gives them about 17.5. So it's able to produce, let's say, about 30,000 barrels per day. Um, the initial phase 1 was supposed to produce 12.5 barrel per day. It's actually producing 15.5 barrel per day, so it's moving up there. And this Lindenberg production can take this Lindenberg expansion of phase 2 approval can also push the phase 1 production up to 18,000. So we'll say 80,000. Well, the new numbers are going to be 18,000 plus 17.5. So we're looking at about 35.5. And right now they're actually at 15.5 just on that one facility. So pretty much double. It has about 547.4 million outstanding shares. Um, these are some of their facilities. I haven't done too much check on them. So you got the Oats, the Judy Creek, and Sable Offshore Energy Project. So Sable Offshore Energy Project, that's some stuff that we probably want to hear back on. Judy Creek and Oats. If I remember down here, I probably got the information for it. But Oats, it's the gas facility. So the Lindenberg, the Pengrowth 100% owned and operated thermal project. So this project is completely owned and operated by Pengrowth. No partnerships with anybody else. And it's located in the Cold Lakes area of eastern Alberta. So in Alberta, is the Lindenberg area. It has a potential of about 40,000 to 50,000 barrels per day. And 2015 initial phase of, okay, so it has a potential 40,000 to 50,000 barrels per day. That's the Lindenberg. Some more information is in 2015 initial phase of 12,500 per day commercial. So it was initiated. The phase 1 was initiated in for the Lindenberg facility. It was initiated in 2015 with production of 12.5 thousand barrels per day. On the 30th of May of 2016, it received approval for 30,000 barrel per day expansion. So what we're thinking about looking right here is phase 1 was 12.5 nameplate, and phase 2 is 30,000 nameplate. If I'm reading this correct, I've been adding these numbers up on and off, trying to exactly see how they worded it, but it's kind of like, I don't know if it's 12 plus 18. Well, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna keep adding the numbers, and for me, what I think is phase 2 is gonna open up and it's gonna produce a nameplate of 30,000, and then phase 1, which is already open, it has a nameplate of 12.5, but it's producing at 15.5, so it's producing over quota, it's producing open nameplate production, and they expect it to raise up to 18. The expansion is nameplate at 30,000 barrels per day, and we'll see how that comes out once it's operational. Whether it's going to be under or over production, and all this is in the Western Canadian Sedimentary Basin, all that good stuff. The initial phase nameplate capacity was 12.5. Production expectation is 18,000. Expansion nameplate capacity is 30,000. Production, just a couple more notes. Nothing to read off. Long-term debt end of June 2016 was 1.68 billion. That's an immense amount of debt. I'm hoping to see if crude oil does go up, how, like, what are you guys gonna do with your debt? I obviously don't want to see the debt keep rising. Actually, in something there was something about a status of repayment. So you guys are obviously just repaying debt, so it's cycling. Outstanding debt as the end of December was 1.86. So it looks like the debt went down. Let's say about 200 million. We'll say about 200. Yeah, reduction of 225 million. So that's great. And 2018 oil and natural gas hedges should provide a substantial degree of cash flow. So for 2018, we're looking gold, black gold. Pengrowth assets are the Limburg thermal oil, the Cardium light oil, the Swan Hill light oil, and the Groundbirch Bernadette Montney gas project. That sounds like a French Canadian name, but uh, it looks like we see another project over here, and we see the offshore energy project, and we got the Groundbirch Bernadette Montney gas project. We'll probably get some information on those three, but we'll go ahead and write it down for now. Um, so we'll just go ahead and do this, and right there, we'll go ahead and do that. Just go ahead and copy these down here. We'll look at these later on, and we'll just copy this one too. Here you go. I didn't find the word project for this one, but I know it was a project because this is the newest results for their operations. So obviously, I need to put the production capacity for each one of these facilities. Some of these are gas, some of these are oil. Let's see what else they find, and that's Pengrowth. So we're gonna go back here to. Just wanted to give you a heads up. I saw this one right here, and I wanted to show that why you pick an oil and gas company, and specifically why this company. Um, Cincinnati Bell, live in the area. That's one of the service providers. It's a utility company. It's at 423. Well, it was at 423 when I bought it. It's a small gap. Cincinnati. It's in the tri-state area. I should probably put the market gap in numbers, like in a figure, like, how can I say this in a monetary standpoint? Monetary Gap. We'll call it that for now. Okay. So I usually get my information from a couple places when filling out just general stuff. Obviously, Robinhood. Usually, some of the companies have company information. I also use TD Ameritrade. There's Yahoo. There's Google, and there's other companies. I try and mostly get my source from search engines such as Google and Yahoo Finance, and from brokers, which would be Robinhood and TD Ameritrade. Other places such as stock websites, until I'm fully reliable on their information, I just use it as reference and then check back with my brokers, which is obviously something you should do. Just check back with your brokers because they are the ones who hold the tickers. Okay, so mm, let's see where we are now. On the 30th of August, PGH, CBB, BAC, those are the companies I bought on 30th and 29th. Okay. On 9/5/2016 in New York Stock Exchange, small gap, mm, put I bought 11 shares of Pengrowth. Um, and the price that I bought for was $1.48 for a total value of $16.28. And my thinking for buying, mention of crude oil production in the Arabian Peninsula, as well as market analysis on company filings and future plans, future management with return on equity. So is that really what we want to say about pretty much this company? Um, Mention of crude oil production in the Arabian Peninsula, as well as market analysis on company filings and future management with return on equity. Um, as well as near-sighted production increase. So we're right now literally looking at what will be an increase in production. They just received the approval, so I'm guessing they are going to do the building. And once they get the building rolling and they get the machines turned on, then that production will just kick in. So yeah, so on the spit, oh, but you're showing me the six. I'm gonna put for the settlement date. I'm gonna put the six because that I submitted it the fifth, but I actually completed it the sixth. Um, date of purchase. There you go. So now, what else did we buy on the 9/9/2016 in the and I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna put this right here. Bam, bam, bam. We're gonna erase the because we bought Bank of America and we bought 2 shares of Bank of America at exactly 2 shares at 1606. Um, for total 3212. Jim Cramer had mentioned something of BAC on CNBC, but BAC is a great hold, especially for dividends. Dividends. Okay, so now you guys know. That's pretty much the only thing I bought. And right now on my Robinhood account, it's showing that on September the 23rd, I'm gonna have 30 a 30-cent dividend from Bank of America for 4 shares. It comes out to about 7.5 cents per share, to a total of 30 cents for the four. So that'll be great. Whatever this value of the portfolio plus 30 cents. But from the total dividends, what are we looking at? We want the 50 to 100 every quarter. So if we do $50 minus 30 cents, we still need to get $49.70. That's how much short we are. But these are my that's my portfolio at the moment. Um, okay, so we're out of that. I'm not gonna make any more adjustments. That's everything. So this was Pengrowth. I hope to have something like this for as many of the stocks I hold or stocks that I'm probably looking into. There's this right here. I need to connect all of these to this photo here. And information that we need to fill in this area will probably be, we're gonna go ahead and go to our that we were gonna finish, but I guess we'll go ahead and do this. Um, this on the monetary value. I'm just gonna write what it is. I'm just gonna put a set. I mean the mid gap. Let's look at this real quick. I mean this is obviously gonna change, but the company that's gonna get most affected by it probably be AMD since it's seen a huge market gap movement, like in the billion type thing. But here we go. Right now at a price of $5.90, its market cap is 4.7 billion. Okay. Then we got Bank of America. There's a lot of class A, B, C, and D class stocks. We'll probably take a look at some of those later on, A, B, C, and D. But so far, I just bought this stock right here, and this one is valued at 160.6 billion. Um, okay, so now we go to PGA Pengrowth Energy Corporation, and Pengrowth is only valued at 870.4 million. Small gap. And the last one we want to add is CBB. Something about CBB. It does offer a dividend. I had read somewhere though that it's the dividend that it does offer though is payable in the dividend. gives is payable in stocks. It does not give out monetary dividend. So it's so let's say if you get a return of 30 cents dividend from CBB, which is Cincinnati Bell, and instead of them actually depositing 30 cents of monetary value, instead they're gonna give you 30 cents worth of a CBB stock. So your dividend is 30 cents, but it's given in the form of a stock. So it's a stock option. It's not a cash option. That's one thing to consider into CBB, and we'll look into that later on. I might just hold on to one share just for the kicks of it, and just because of that home support. But as for now, I don't think that's a company that I would, unless I saw huge investment returns, that I wouldn't really invest much into as of now. But this is still a good price for it, and the stocks definitely do move up and down, and you can always trade it for profit in the actual stock rather than a profit in the dividend. So the market cap for CBB is going to be 840.7 million. And there you go. That's all phased out. We might add, we might take out. Send me a send me an email, leave a message, leave a comment, whatever you thought, you liked, you hated, some things you might change, and where you feel you would take this $50 to $100 dividend challenge to. Um, what are the stocks that you are most comfortable with, and why do you invest in those stocks? As you can see from my portfolio right now, it is technology and semiconductors. Uh, Technology and semiconductors. Shoot, hey. I'm sorry. It is semiconductors, financial, energy, and utilities. So we got semiconductors, financial, energy, utility, and that's where I'm at right now. Some of the things that I'm thinking about getting, or some of the things that I will not put into my portfolio as of right now. One, bonds. I'm not doing no bonds. I know some of it is too much of a market to get into. I'm not putting that much money into this portfolio, as in bulk money, where I can just buy that much and expect that much of return. I'm gonna start at this level, which is a level I feel like I'm comfortable at, and I'm definitely going for that $50 to $100 dividend challenge. Um, it is something you can hold on. You can cash in later on if you want. You can reposition yourselves many different ways. It is. This is what I want to start out. This is what I feel comfortable in, and these are the companies. It may not provide the most profit, but it's gonna do it for me because it's doing it for me because I have it as of now. So in total, I have 22 shares, and well, this is wrong right here, but I do have in one, two, three, four companies, 22 shares in four companies, with my majority being in the oil and financial. Okay, so let's see what else we got. What's this? Oh, you guys don't need to see that. So we got stock list. These are some dividend stocks that I was looking into. Dividend under $10, probably what it was, something like that. $10, $15. The Pengrowth Energy Inc. The total return. Um, this is just something I copied and pasted. Dividend portfolio scalping shares. If I had a batch of 50 shares, what's the equity invested in? What's the dividend? What's the amount of dividend I would get it for that batch? And so pretty much for $238 invested into a Putnam Premier Income Trust, I would get about $1.13 in dividend. Don't remember if that was monthly or quarterly dividend disbursement, but that's what this is, scalping. Obviously, our research in the companies, finding out what vehicles they have. I guess we can do that every so often. People, that'd be great. Who knows who you'll find? Um, I guess these companies they just provide huge capital, and you gotta see huge returns in it. It's like the railway system with the railroad cars and locomotives. It's it's good money, but you gotta put in good money. I'm closing up shop right here, making sure that we got everything out of the way. Um, Again, also for you guys don't know, I use this me right here. We're going solar baby, solar. Yeah, I guess that's something I saw from the Weather Channel for the Arabian Peninsula. I mean, if it ever, it's, it looks like it's just gonna be a energy state forever and ever and ever to come. Um, but definitely like solar infrastructure, solar railways with like instead of having trees, you can have like trees and solar panels throughout the division of the forward and counter forward driving lanes, um, and just build around that, provide energy to the grid, and your crude oil will be just an export. So this is me looking up some things. This is a great little tool that this channel offers, which is the Stockbot, Stocksbot. Hard to say that, but you can give it some commands. It'll spit out some information, and you got charts. You got some definitions. Some of the definitions are very vague. They don't, or they're just whatever the bot had in its general system for that. Like sometimes you get some good definitions, other times you get some crappy ones. Same thing with the find ticker. You can put in some stuff. Sometimes it'll give you the right ticker. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes you got to do a little searching to find out why exactly it gives you that ticker rather than other ticker. So it's definitely something nice to play around with. And work harder, comrade. Here we go. I'll do this real quick before I log out. All right. It looks like I just got an update and some things just changed. All right. So remember, this is Winter TV and work harder, comrades.